सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we were looking at the importance of a thought life, mindfulness, without which any amount of study, any amount of learning makes no difference to us. That's really the free will. People ask, do we have a free will? That you can choose. You can't choose situations, but you can choose your response. We do have a freedom in terms of our response. If that freedom is not seen, it means in that area, the thought life is suffering more. In the sense that it's overwhelmed. It's overwhelmed either by wrong thinking or by emotions. Both are possible. I'm not saying, if it's emotions, we can't really do much about it. I mean, it takes time to overcome emotions. But if it is wrong thinking, then the solution is more in our hand. Because you can correct your thinking. But emotions don't depend entirely on your thinking. They come. So you can't say this emotion won't come. Even though you have no reason for fear or anxiety will come. You know logically there is no reason for fear, but it will come. What do you do about it? That's how it is. That's in order. But I'm saying what we can do, we should do. So I'm saying we are just have to wake up. So why does entire humanity go this way? It's not one or two people. Why do we all suffer from that self-judgment and the need to be different? This is where Vedanta differs from everything else. Advaita Vedanta. So we say the problem is ajnanam, avidya. So far I had not come to that word. I'm going in a reverse way. So if you see Gita, Bhagavan will say, Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Problem statement. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. Avritam means covered. What is covered? Jnanam. Right thinking, you can say, or you can say this understanding that I am not whatever I take myself to be. So, can you be other than this body, mind, sense complex? It's very hard to understand that I am different from all this and I am the only existent, self-evident, self-existent being. So, the people who don't accept Vedanta will say there is no such thing. It is not possible that one doesn't know oneself. It's not tenable. I know myself. See, a problem should be solved if we accept a problem. But if one says, there is no, because vichara is, see, the whole Shastra is vicharatmakam. You have to conduct a vichara. So the question is, a Purva Paksha is raised. Purva Paksha means, the opposite person will say, why waste your time on this? You are saying Atma is not known. You don't know yourself or what? I know myself. There is no need to talk about this anymore. So you take this much for granted. So you take this is real, the world is real, and now solve the problem. This is how almost everybody goes about. But if you are a believer in Veda, then you say the problem cannot be solved locally. It can be solved elsewhere. What is the solution? Till you are in this body, you suffer. But if you do things right, you don't come back into another body with suffering. You go to some loka. And this is where other religions also go. Rationally or irrationally. For us it is rational. Why? Where you go is not permanent. You will come back. Of course, a person who is not in Advaita Vedantin will not accept that. He will say when you go to Vaikuntha, you won't come back. Or you go to Kailasha, you won't come back. That you leave alone. But I am saying is, the idea is the problem, human problem, cannot be solved here. So Swamiji, if we cannot get rid of pain, there is no use. That is what they also will say. There is no use. How can you solve the problem? Go to heaven. How? After this life. Use your thought life well now to achieve a better afterlife. And if you can't go to a better loka, at least if you can't go to the top level, you have some in-between levels. You get a better birth. Instead of being a person who has no resources, no capacity to do things, you come with a better body. This is the solution. So, conclusion is what? There is no solution to the problem here. There is no real solution. You can make some changes. You can improve things, but you cannot totally solve the problem. What does Vedanta have to say? Advaita Vedanta. It says no. The problem, if it is there, it has to be solved. You establish a problem first. If you establish a problem, then we have to solve it. There is no problem. How can you say there is no problem? Because you don't know who you are. So one big task is to prove that one doesn't know oneself. Because only then this knowledge really becomes serious. That is what you hear about what is called as Adhyasa Bhashyam. In the Brahma Sutra, before the whole discussion begins, Shankara spends the time to establish that there is a confusion about who I am. So what is the confusion? The confusion is between the absolute real, Satyam, and Mithya are mixed up. The two are mixed up. How? Are there two things? There are no two things. It's like saying, a real thing and a shadow gets mixed up. Can they get mixed up? Can a real thing get mixed up in its shadow? It cannot be. Yet, even though they cannot be mixed up, yet we find there is a mix-up. This is how it begins. In what way? There cannot be a mix-up between I and not I. There cannot be a mix-up. Who doesn't know I and not I? But there is a mix-up. Why? Because what is I? Examine what is I. It's a conscious entity. Consciousness. What is consciousness? Is it an object? Is it something solid? Does it have parts? Can it be objectified? Then how you are going to mix it up with another thing? Because to combine two things, you need some points of contact for the two to commingle. But consciousness has no part, nothing at all. And you can see the fact that you are the same from the time you are born till the point you die. You are the same. You only know what all experiences you went through. Yet, you know that the body is something you objectify. Yet you say, I am overweight. You say, I am overweight. How do you say you are overweight? Do you know about overweight or are you overweight? You know about being overweight. Then how can you say, I am overweight? So this logic is used to first establish what? It's not that you take the real two things, right? One, I can take what I am to be just the body. Or I can mix up the attributes as though of the two. So while I am consciousness and I am free from time, but what do I say? The body is conscious, which is the attribute of me. And I say I am subject to death. You see the mix-up. Consciousness is not in time, so it cannot die. It is consciousness due to which time comes to light. So it cannot happen like that. Yet it happens. So that the initial discussion in any Vedanta teaching, the first thing we have to establish is there is a mistake about my self-identity. And you have to examine whether it is true or not. What we discussed about Ishvara, etc., do not require this assumption. They do not require avidya to be proved for karma phala, etc. You don't have to prove it necessarily. But when it comes to saying there is no problem, you have to prove that the whole problem is based on avidya. And avidya is not translated in English often as self-ignorance. Right? What does ignorance mean to you? Lack of knowledge. That is not the meaning of avidya. It is not an absence of knowledge. It is not an absence of knowledge. An absence of anything cannot create a problem. Swamiji, absence of money does create a problem. No, it doesn't. You have a need, that is your problem. Absence of money doesn't create a problem. Presence of a need creates the problem. Absence of food creates a problem, Swamiji. No, presence of hunger is the problem. An absence can never create a problem. You tell me, does a non-present snake make you afraid? Does a non-existent father bother you? No. So what bothers you? Something present. Something present alone can bother you. So avidya, if it's a problem, then it cannot be something which is not there. Then what is avidya? Avidya is that which is opposed to knowledge. It is not absence of knowledge. It is that which is opposed to knowledge. It covers knowledge. That's why it's avritam. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. What is the benefit of stating this? If it's an absence, which is the problem, how are you going to solve the problem? Whereas, if avidya is opposed to jnanam, jnanam when it comes, in the wake of jnanam, avidya goes. Like what? In the wake of the sunrise, the darkness rolls away. Is darkness a real thing? It rolls away in the wake of light. Therefore, its being is not. See, all examples will be short because there is nothing absolute in samsara, okay? Just an example to show that when one comes, the other can't be. That's the important thing. That virodharthe nany. The importance is when one is, the other can't be. Therefore, when knowledge comes, avidya can't be. So, ajnanena avritam jnanam, tena karanena muhyanti jantavaha. All beings are confused. And what is the ignorance? You take yours, you mix up the I and the not I. What is not I? Everything other than I is not I. What is not I? The whole Jagat is not I. But in that, what do you confuse yourself with? Starting with this body down, body, mind, senses. This is where the confusion lies. Therefore, what is the study? What is the study about? To separate these two. What is you and what is not you? When does the study begin? When you have gained that more or less the sameness with respect to everything. You are objective to everything. You are able to accept what is more or less. Then, still there are pains, etc. Now you come here. You are objective enough and you examine what really is the meaning of I. Even a person who is doing Vedika karma, etc. for a better afterlife, he doesn't take this to be I. This body he doesn't take to be I. He believes in a survivor after death. But that survivor after death is also somebody who travels. There is an entity there. So that is also not the real I. The I is not just survivor. The I is only thing that is. The only significant thing. That is what the knowledge is about. So this avidya has to go. And avidya nivritti is called jnanam. And that jnanam alone, what does it do? It doesn't solve a problem. It negates the problem. It doesn't solve the problem, it negates the problem. For you to say there is a problem, who has the problem? So Bhagavan says, na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu. I do not create any sense of doership or experiencership. I don't create anything like that. Then why do people go about doing things trying to get ajnanena avritam jnanam? So what is the whole problem? The setup is all there and the setup allows you to be wise or be unwise. But the starting point for everybody is what? Avidya. And therefore, that avidya, when it is there, people, what does avidya mean now? I don't know myself as I am. I don't know myself as I really am. What am I really? In the vision of Shastra, I am the whole. Aham purnaha. I am limitless. If you don't know yourself as limitless, how will you know yourself? There is no choice, okay? If you don't know yourself limitless, the only way you can know yourself is as limited. And therefore, aham apurnaha. That's the conclusion. I am not complete. There is something lacking in me. And naturally, the mind is given. It says, I want to get complete in some way. And it does something and it seems to become complete temporarily. Therefore, apurnaha, being non-whole, non-limitless, the natural consequence is kama, a desire. A desire to be whole, a desire to become non-seeking. So, avidya is the mother. First baby is what? Kama. Then what comes next? Desire is there. A lot of desire is there. I won't do anything. Desire won't go away. Then what should you do? Karma. Do an action. Then you have removed one want. The next want is waiting. Why? Because the basic person is wanting, not complete. So that has to be gone. So therefore, when that is removed, what happens? There is total freedom. This is the, I'm not getting into details here, but I'm saying avidya is the primary problem. So where is our vision now? What is the vision? I want to grow into one person who is totally free from all limitations. If you want to grow into that, the Shastras always say, you try to grow into it even though you don't understand. You try to have the same values as the one who has grown out of these limitations. So, a person who knows I am whole, how would he be? Na prahrishyet priyam prapya. he would not be jumping in exultation because he got something he likes. Because what does he know? The like, the accomplishment of the like, the mind getting excited, is all, I am an observer, I am unaffected by all this. So he doesn't jump up. No dvijet prapya cha priyam. Neither does he, get into depression because some like is not fulfilled. Doesn't afflict him. Sthira buddhi. His thinking is very clear. Sthira buddhi asammudha. Not confused. Brahmavit brahmani sthitaha. He is a knower of Brahman. He is a knower of his truth. And he just abides in himself, the true self. So, he knows that any identification with an experience and saying that experience makes me whole will drag me down. He knows that. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonayaha evate. Anything which you gain in time by a connection between a sense organ and a sense, if you exult in it, if you say this is good, it is going to be what? A cause for, it's a seed for sorrow. Because you are sowing the seed for sorrow whenever you conclude that my happiness lies in this experience. Because now you want that experience again and again and again. And even if you are able to command that experience, there will be a time when your senses are incapable of commanding them. Somebody loves these, what do you call them? The bhakshanas, the crisp things, people eat. Murukku in Tamil Nadu. I don't know what you will call I don't know what's the word for it in Hindi. Farsan. In Gujarat they will say farsan, right? Namkeen. But all I'm saying is chatpata. Something should be, it should have some crispness. So this man has lived all his life enjoying it. Now what happened? Teeth are gone. Teeth are gone. What do? The fellow says, put it in the mixer and give it to me. You see, this is called slavery, okay? He's become a slave of this. Why does one become a slave? Because you have invested so much of your emotional capital in saying, this is good. That investment kills us. Because knowledge cannot undo your emotional investment overnight. The investment we have made, it's like SIP, Systematic investment plan. So what do? Every month you invest. So by the time you retire, you have a big nest egg. So here what is it? What is our systematic investment plan? Every day you invest. This is good. This experience is good. This is better. I should do this. So you keep investing. Now you have concluded. This food is necessary for me. Every day with tea, at least some namkeen. Something should be there. One samosa. You put so much value in it that by the time you lost your teeth, you have actually now maximum need for a samosa. As your capacities are eroding, your desires are growing. Jatilo mundi. No, not Jatilo mundi. 1 second. Angam galitam. Palitam mundam. What does it mean? The body is galitam means it's melting away, okay? Means it's losing all its capacities. No muscle, only flesh is hanging down. Angam galitam. How is your head? Palitam mundam, ripe. All white or no hair. What is the state of your mouth? Dashana vihinam jatam tundam. Your face is derived of, your mouth is deprived of its teeth. How do you walk? Vriddho yati grihitva dandam. With a stick. You can't walk without, you need support essentially. You're too old. These all have weakened. But what about your desire? Even when you have grown so old, tadapina munchati asha pindam. That bundle of desires hasn't left you. Agre vanhi. In front of you, what do you have? A fire. You watch our watchmen in the night. They'll have a fire in front. It's cold in the night. Agre vanhi. But this is talking of daytime. Prishthe bhanuhu. So cold. In front you need a fire. Behind, the sun is hitting your back. You're sun tanning. Prishthe bhanuhu. Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu. In the night, chubuka is the chin. Where is your chin? It has joined your knees. You imagine sleeping, your chin touching your knees. How would you be sleeping? Crouched, Why? Cold. Right? Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu. How do you eat? What is your source of food? I have nothing. No money, no house, nothing. No, I went wrong. Ratrau chubuka samarpita januhu. Yeah, correct. Karatala bhiksha. Where do you live? Tarutala vasaha. Under a tree. On Ganga Ghat. Tadapina munchati asha pashaha. Pasha means a noose. A lasso. Even then you are caught up in your own hopes, your fancies, your desires. When will they go? This is Bhaja Govindam. So Shankara laments and says, hey, get up. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Why? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrang karane. Take resort to God. Commit yourself to Ishvara now. Because when the death comes reckoning, all the things you do are not going to protect you. Karma won't protect you. All your karma phala won't protect you. If at all you want to be free from the throes of death, you wake up to your reality. That is the exhortation. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam. Mahaprayag. Mahakumbh. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam. Ganga Sagara means Tirtha Yatra. Vrata Paripalana Mathava Danam. You keep a lot of religious vows. You give a lot of things in charity. Still what? Vrata Paripala Mathava Danam Jnana Vihina Sarva Matena Muktim Na Bhajati Janma Shatena. Even if you lived 100 lives, infinite lives doing all these good things, you will not be free from the sense of lack. So what should you do? Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nishchalitatvam, nishchalitatve jivan muktihi. Jivan muktihi. While alive you can be free. How? Begin with satsanga. Satsanga means what? Translated as company of a good person. Good person you go for the sat, one who knows the truth. That is real satsanga. Satsangatve. How do you dissociate from what is? See, yoga, normal definition of yoga is what? Connection. Yujyate iti yoga. Definition on Gita is what? Dissociation is yoga. Disconnection, not dissociation, disconnection. Non-identification is yoga. Non-identification is what? Dukkha sanyoga viyoga yoga sangitaha. Dukkha sanyoga, the nice strong connection with dukkha, with sorrow. What is the connection? I am subject to sorrow. That connection, the untying of that knot, the removal of that connection, seeing through the falsity of that connection alone is called yoga. And how is that accomplished? How do you grow out of this? Not by turning away from everything. You have to use karma to grow out of karma in the beginning. There is no other way. It is not intuitive. Seems counterintuitive. If karma binds, I won't do karma. No. You have to do karma, but in a way that it won't bind. That is karma yoga attitude. So, satsangatve nissangatva. When you go to the company of the wise person and you become, your thought life changes, then the things that you ran after automatically start to drop off. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. You are no longer having a confusion of priorities, confusion of values, confusion of what is important, what is less important, what will serve you well, what won't serve you well. Nirmohatve nischalitatvam. If you are not confused, you will not be swayed by what you see. Nischalitatve jivan mukti. Because even after knowing, as I said, you step out, this is not okay, that should be different, why is this like that, why garbage is here, why Ganga is dirty. 100 things will come to you. And Upanishad says, Atmanam eva vijanata, anya vacho vimunchata. Once you understand, you stay. You are not one more thing. You are always present. It's only a matter of attention goes out or stays without going out. If you don't go out, you are with yourself. There is nothing else. You don't go out, you are with yourself. But we go out. We identify. Then again the mind will go out. Once you go out, as I told you, like the plant which is fully dried, because you didn't give it water, you give it one jug of water, it will spring to life. Because these are all, seeds are there. They have to be totally roasted, okay? This is the example for Jnanam. Seeds are there, karmas are there. They have to be roasted by Jnanam. So they are incapable of sprouting again. And you know what? When you do this Tirtha Yatra, if you read about it more, Tirtha Yatra is not just Tirtha Yatra. There's a lot of accomplishing discipline to be followed. It's not just take a flight, go to Prayagraj, go take a dip and send one selfie that you've taken a dip and everybody knows you're free from all karma now. Doesn't work that way. If it was so easy, it would have everybody would do it. Of course, everybody tried to do it. 60 crore people is not a joke. But what I'm saying to you is that I told you, we like convenience, shortcut. What's the most convenient way to get moksha? Go take a dip. You're very lucky. You're born in this time when there is one Mahakumbh. Otherwise, you won't get it. 144 years once. This is a selling point. But the fact is, it is not just any karma. It involves, there should be some difficulty. You should have shraddha in that. And before and after, you must be following dharma all the way. You must offer food to people. When you finish Tirtha Yatra and go, you must do a santarpana. There is a whole bunch of rules if you want to read about it. And what do? Only one thing. Go. If moksha was so simple, why would all those Naga Babas be there? They would just be waiting for one day dip and over. No need to be a Naga Baba after that, It doesn't work that way. So the entire thing is what? We want to be free. We want to be free from the sense of lack at a relative level and at an absolute level. And if you want to be free at the absolute level, it's only by Jnanam. And that Jnanam negates your very self-identity with this body and mind. So, so he says what? You do whatever you have to do. But along with that, you pay attention to this. Do karma well. And then when karma has done its job, when you have gained that relative objectivity, then you free yourself by understanding. So now, this theme is that you don't look at relative achievement. See, this is where you will find our Puranas and Shastras coming in. That the theme is not what you achieved here. How long is the achievement going to stick with you? Whatever you achieve, how long is it going to stick with you? When you die, what do you carry with you? What do you carry with you? Do you carry your wealth? Do you carry your relationships? Your networks? Your net worth? What do you carry with you? The person who called you, you are so dear to me, no longer hugs you. Bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. She is also afraid. Dead body, preta, doesn't want to come near you. Step out. People will come and do last respects. They will not, all of them will not accompany you to the cemetery, to the smashanam. Few people will walk. What will they do? They will go put you on a pile of wood and light a match. And even before the body is burned, they turn their back and walk away. Who accompanies you? Who accompanies you? Only your karma accompanies you. Sat karma accompanies you. Therefore, what should you do? Kuru avadhanam mahadavadhanam. Japya sameta samadhi vidhanam. Kuru avadhanam mahadavadhanam. Pay attention to your thought life and your karmic life. Because that karma accompanies you. But even if karma accompanies you, that karma will give you a better situation, but you may again fall. When you exhaust your currency, you go back. You can go anywhere on tourism. How long can you stay there? So if you want to travel somewhere and you want to get a visa, what do they ask you? Please show sufficiency of funds. That's the most important thing. You have to show that you can pay for your trip. And if you run out of money, what will they do? If necessary, they will deport you on government charge. You will not stay there anymore. Therefore, how long will you stay in any loka? So this is recognized in the culture, that everything comes to an end. Whatever you do comes to an end. Is there some way where I don't come to an end? Is there something, some accomplishment? Because culture is all karma phala. You do this karma, you will get this. You do that karma, you will get that. So, is there any karma by doing which I don't have to shake hands with Yamaraja? That is the theme of the little text that we have, okay? So now we will enter that. After a long time. I thought I may not enter it at all, but I thought let's enter today. So, there's a few conversations in the beginning. We will not look at all of that. So, fourth verse, you look at the fourth verse, okay? See, this is basically a conversation. This, by the way, is from a Purana called Vishnu Purana. So, what's a Purana? Let's look at that briefly. What's a Purana? It's like Itihasa is history. So, we say what? Shruti, Smriti, Purananam, Alayam, Karunalayam. Shruti means Veda. What was heard? What was heard, Veda, is considered to be, it's not attributed to human authorship. Veda is Apaurusheya, not the work of a human intellect. It is revealed. It is not born of a human intellect. Smriti literally means memory. A human being understood something, a wise person, and wrote. What he understood predominantly is what Vedas is the source of knowledge. But he integrated that with his life and wrote something. That is called Smriti, which can have defects. Why? Because human intellect. Then there is Purana. There is Itihasa and Purana. Itihasa means Iti-ha-asa. This is how it transpired. That's what the word is. This is how it transpired. Means there is a historical event. Something happened. Mahabharata, Ramayana are called Itihasa. For us, Rama and Krishna walked this line. It's not something just imagined. Even if it is imagined, will be okay. Vyasa wrote, it's enough for us. But it is not considered imagined. Purana is, you have Mahapuranas, short Puranas, huge works ascribed to Vedavyasa. We don't know if Vedavyasa was really one person or it was a title. We don't really know. But tradition says Mahapuranas were all written by Vedavyasa. But Bhagavata Purana doesn't fit there. Shankara never quotes Bhagavata. Amazingly. Bhagavata has got a lot of Vedanta, but you'll never hear it. But Shankara quotes a lot from Vishnu Purana, by the way. You will see it. In the Gita, you will see it in the Upanishads. He will quote from Vishnu Purana. So, these Puranas, Swamiji would say, the Puranas offer a wider canvas. It's a huge canvas to paint. To paint what you want has to be revealed. See, you want to reveal certain things. How will you reveal death? How will you talk of death in a drama, in a play? Everything has to have characterization. How will you present conflict in a story? You have many thoughts. So Swamiji would say, this is all Swamiji's insights. And I find them very, very interesting. Who is Ravana? You heard of Ravana or not? Have you heard the word Ravana? Name Ravana? Describe Ravana. 10 heads. Ravana means 10 heads. Now, Swamiji says, I was trying to imagine how a person with 10 heads will manage his life. See, 9 is better. Odd number is better. 1 in the middle, symmetric on either side. How 10? And now, whenever he has to go through a door, it's like you're driving a car, you have to see, will the whole car go through it or not? Or you have to turn this way and go. Does it make sense? How many necks did he have? 1 or 10? Only 1. So 10 heads are there now. 10 heads. So how many mouths he has to feed from? Complexities, How many crowns he has to have? He's a king. 10 crowns he has to wear. And if he has a headache, how many heads will ache? 10 heads are going to ache. You tell me, what kind of Ravana is this? So Swamiji says, this is Valmiki's way of presenting Ravana. What it means, his mind is full of conflict. So all conflicts. How do you show conflict? One thought, another thought. You can write, but how do you show conflict in a drama? Even a child can appreciate. One head thinks like this. One head says, give Sita back. Better avoid trouble. Another said, no. Why should you give Sita back? Are you afraid? Are you crowing out? Come on. You have a Vardhanam. No God can kill you. No Rakshasa can kill you. But Rama, third head. But Rama is a man. Rama is a man and he killed 14,000 of my men. Khara, Dushana, etc. Big fellows he killed. He has destroyed so many. And nobody had crossed the sea and come to Lanka. Now he's almost here. Will he? No. You see the thoughts now? These are all the conflicting thoughts. So Ramayana is what? What is Ravana? Ravana means the fellow with conflict. This is how Swami presents it. But how is it presented? 10 heads. Anything you want to present, this Ramayana, Mahabharata, a lot of these things, if you know in olden times, I don't know about North India, must have been there, but in South, like in Karnataka, you have something called Yakshagana. It used to be an all-night event. And there will be a theme like this. One fellow will be singing, same fellow, he'll be changing his voice and singing. Now it is Rama, now it is Ravana. He'll be singing. And there will be people with costumes, village people. It's the live entertainment at that time. But the entertainment is not some silly lyrics with, nothing. It's all meaningful. It's based on these. And you present life stories there. And through that, people learn. You cannot teach a child, come here, I will teach you values. You must say the truth. Truth is the only thing you should speak. How much will a child understand? You present a story. Like Harishchandra's story. Harishchandra is a great king. What is this called? Satya Harishchandra. Why? Satyam means truth. What is he standing for? Truth. How do they demonstrate it? He is thrown from challenge to challenge. And anybody else may have moved away from truth, but he holds on to the truth. Take Bhishma. What is the value he personifies? Once he gives his word, he will not do something against his word. What is the promise he gave his father? So, Bhishma, young man, very promising young man. Father goes out, meets this lady on a boat, love at first sight. And he wants to marry her. Lady's father, very smart man. He knows how to negotiate. So he says, you want to marry my daughter? You are the king. Only on one condition. My daughter's progeny alone shall access the kingdom. They shall be the kings. Bhishma says, I can't. I have a son, a brilliant son. I can't do this. But this is, not Bhishma, I'm sorry, his father. Right, I'm sorry, Shantanu. So now what happens? Goes back. Buddhi says, I can't accept it. Emotion says, I have to marry her. You see the difficulty, the conflict, shown on a canvas. And he won't budge because his buddhi he stands by. Son Bhishma finds out why is father so down these days? What's affecting him? What's bothering him? Tries to dig around, finds out what's happening. That father isn't fallen in love. What should the son do? Son says, what is the problem? Goes, finds out. What is the issue? Okay, I will not marry. I will not take the kingdom. I'm promising. They say, your promise is okay. You will get married one day. Then what will happen? You will have a child. Now, what is the rules of succession? The eldest in the line of succession will get it. Therefore, your son may become the king. We don't want that happening. Only my daughter Satyavati's progeny has to hand. Is that your problem? He's only 18 or 19 or whatever. He says, I won't get married. Not like modern days, okay? I won't get married, but I'll have 10 children. That doesn't work. I won't get married. Now what happens? As time goes by, his two stepbrothers, they will have children. But the children are not okay. The lineage is coming to an end. There is no proper person to take care of the kingdom. Satyavati, stepmother now, comes and tells him, Bhishma, you get married, you become the king. He says, no. Why? I made a promise. It's called Bhishma Pratigya. A promise which is terrible. He made a vow. The reason for the vow is the mother. Mother's father, but now mother. Mother says, don't stick with it. Leave it. Others tell him, leave it. The purpose is no longer. He won't listen. Till the end. And he has made another vow. He will always protect the throne. He doesn't seem to care who occupies the throne. What is it highlighting? How a person holds on to his words. Satya Harishchandra, how you hold on to truth. You tell me, when a child listens to the story of Satya Harishchandra, don't do like modern teaching. Okay. Children, you have heard the story. What is the moral of the story? Then you tell them, moral of the story is, truth always wins. Then they will memorize. Then you ask in the exam, what is the moral of the story? Truth always wins. This is destroying the story. That conclusion, without your telling, the child will see. The child will see that what is the right conclusion. You have another story, of a person, a small bird. A bird goes to a king and says, please protect me. Another bird is going to get me. Right? It's going to become meal for that. The king says, okay, I will protect you. Then that other bird comes. And it says, Shibi Maharaja. So, the other bird says, that bird is provided by Ishvara as my food. It's provided to be my food. You are depriving me of my food. That is not dharma. You can't take away, you can't intervene in Ishvara's order. It is my food. You give me the bird. King says, I have made a promise, I will give you refuge. I can't give the bird. You ask me for anything. I'm a king. What meat do you want? I will give you. Don't ask for this bird. No, I want that bird. I want that bird. Shibi says, what can I offer? He thinks about it. He says, you know what? This bird is this tiny bird, all right? Instead of the bird, I will offer you an equivalent weight of my flesh, my own flesh. Will that be okay? Bird says, okay. Now a balance is brought. The king could have simply said, hey, Poya, go. I have nothing to do with you. Could have said. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. What did he say? Get a balance. Get a knife. Slices off. Little bird on one side. It's trembling. Afraid, But he has given refuge. Relax. One piece of flesh is put here. What do you find? The little bird is heavier. More flesh. A lot of flesh is put. Vital parts are given. Still king is okay. Then it is revealed that Shibi was only being tested and Bhagwan was playing all this, and so it's all over. But what is the moral of the story? Without telling. Once you give refuge, you give your life, but you protect the one who has taken refuge with you. See, this need not be taught. This is the way the Puranas and Itihasas worked. You taught through stories. If you remember, when you were children, at least our generation, we heard Mahabharata, Ramayana from somebody you knew, some older person at home. You didn't read in a book. It would be bedtime stories, Every day some story will be told. You hear something. You ask some silly questions. See, good thing is at that age, you don't ask, how bird can talk? How bird can talk? Which language did it talk? You don't ask all these things, okay? That is the age when Purana goes in and you swallow it hook, line and sinker. And it works. That's how the core personality gets formed there. your value systems become imprinted. You listen about Hanuman, you listen to Rama, you listen about Krishna, you listen to so many things, and now you have a hero. Who is your hero? Not Shah Rukh Khan. Your hero better be somebody who has some values. A filmy hero who doesn't even have what he really shows on the screen, he is your idol today. Or some fellow who sings something. Or cartoon is a little better. At least you won't learn anything wrong, hopefully. But these actors, people know they're actors, but still, you go to a college dorm and you see what is the posters they put, what inspires them. These are the things that inspire them now. There is no real inspiration. Because what do you get inspired by? At best, you are inspired by the looks. Or you put one poster of Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, So what do you look at? Look at the muscles. That's how you want to be. That's physical. You didn't see a poster of Einstein generally. Neither did you see a poster of Vivekananda. So I'm saying, who inspires you today? Who do you look up to? You look up to one celluloid hero. That's why the society is where it is. But what was our inspirations? All these characters in Purana are your inspirations. And through the Puranas, you also show what you shouldn't be like. You better don't be a Duryodhana. Don't behave like, because it is shown that finally, Satyameva Jayate. Satyameva Jayate. All the things happen, but finally what wins? What wins? Dharma wins. That is reinforced again. In so many words. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata. Abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Why do you come? Why does Bhagavan appear in a physical form? Dharma samsthapanarthaya. To re-establish dharma. Dharma is what has to rule. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma which is protected will protect you. Dharma which is not protected will leave you exposed. You will not enjoy the protection. These kind of things, how do you present in a lively way? That's Purana. So this is Yama Gita in the Purana. What is Yama Gita? It's a conversation between Yama and his Duta. Duta means his minion, okay? It's called Yama Kinkara. The word is Kinkara. What does Kinkara mean? He should say, Kim karomi, Kim karomi, Kim karomi. What shall I do? What shall I do? What shall I do? Means what? He's like the genie, You rub the Aladdin's lamp and genie comes. Then what will he ask you? What shall I do for you? What's your command? What shall I do for you? That's this fellow, Kinkaraha. Means he will just do what is ordered to do. What's this fellow's job? You know who is Yama? Yama, in case you don't know, Yama is Ishvara looked at as the one who takes people away when their time is done on earth. When the karma runs out, he takes them. And what does he do? He says, what all you did? What is your list of claims to fame? And then, based on that, you will be dispatched to the next location. Because your next promotion depends on what you did, Performance appraisal for this life is done. And then you are assigned your next posting. Whether you are promoted or demoted, there is no dismissal, okay? Dismissal where? Dismiss where? You have to be in some loka. You don't die. You have to be sent somewhere. In keeping with your with your life, what you did, which is in keeping with your thought life. Even thought life impinges karma, because manasam karma. Mentally you hurt somebody, that is also wrong. So the minion is the one who is. There's a conversation between Yama and his minion. And what's the conversation going to be? That we will see when we meet again. Okay? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Medha.